First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. How about it? Sunshine back today, finally clearing out after several days with clouds and rain. Started on Monday in a very rainy pattern, but it's taken some significantly colder air to impact the country to really clear all this out. I checked a few moments ago, seeing wind gusts over 100 miles per hour on Mount Washington with wind chills as low as -101. I mean, we're talking about some national record low wind chills happening out there, but the dry air has made it in, and it is going to be cold tonight, but not as cold as some of those temperatures I was just telling you about. As we go right now to First Alert AccuTrack radar and satellite, finally as we scan the sky, no precipitation showing up. 35 in Haleyville, 36 in Coleman. You look south, we're in the 40s in areas here to the south. The temperatures, Birmingham, we're down to 37. Tonight, expect the low near 28 degrees. So we will drop to freezing overnight. Highs tomorrow rebounding into the 50s during the afternoon. We'll enjoy a good supply of sunshine tomorrow. That's going to help us out with those comfort levels. Tomorrow night, most areas stay above freezing with the exception far north and northeast. Those outlying areas wouldn't surprise me if we got close to freezing. A little bit of frost there early on Sunday. Rest of the weekend, nice warm up into the 60s, but the dry weather hangs on for Saturday, Sunday, also for Monday and Tuesday. But we'll have some rain coming back around the middle of next week. That's something we're going to get into as we talk about the 7-day forecast. That's coming up on First Alert Weather Extra. Also coming up, we go beyond the 7-day. An unusual sinkhole in California we'll tell you about, updates on that Moody landfill fire, and a look at the world's oldest dog. Yeah, that's all ahead. Stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your First Alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First Alert, we are tracking
in times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
Having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone.
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
That means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We finally have some clear skies, so it feels like it has been quite a hot or a cold minute since we have done this, but we're bringing back that night sky forecast. So your stargazing forecast for tonight, we've got crystal clear skies. Now, if you look outside at the moon, it's about 98% illuminated right now. We are in that waxing gibbous state with the moon. The sun has already set, so you should have good views of that. But we also have some planets that you should be able to see. Venus was right around sunset. That's going to be the best time to view it over the next few days. And then as far as Mars and Jupiter, you can view those outside right now as well. So going to have those optimum views here over the next few hours. And don't forget to, just around the corner, we have the February full moon. Now, even though it's not quite the full moon tonight, it is 98% illuminated, so you should have some good views. But I think we'll also have some good views on Sunday when it is in that full moon phase. And the February full moon is known as the snow moon, because this may seem really bizarre to you, but believe it or not, across parts of the country this time of the year in February, it snows. Crazy, right? We wouldn't know anything about that in Alabama. But hey, at least we got some clear skies to not only view the planets, the full moon, the stars, the great beyond, but also Comet 22E3 ZTF. So Comet 2002 or 2022 E3 ZTF, say that 5 times fast, right? That is going to be visible through early February. We've been talking about this. Unfortunately, some of those best views were when it was really cloudy outside for us. But if you have a telescope, this would definitely be a great night to look at it, or binoculars, because at least it's still early February, right? So it was closest to the Earth yesterday. But if you look towards the northwest, you should have some better views here tonight. So at least that's what we're hoping for. But speaking of the night sky, this one has everyone talking. You probably heard us talking about it today on WBRC. The Pentagon says that huge Chinese high altitude balloon is a spy balloon, and they expect it to be in U.S. airspace for several days. The National Weather Service in Kansas City got a closer look at the spy balloon earlier today. The National Weather Service office tweeted these images as the object approached to let people know it was not one of their weather balloons. China says the balloon is for weather research and that it deviated from its planned course. So in response to the balloon's discovery, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has postponed his upcoming trip to Beijing. So crazy, Tania. You know, we are always looking for UFOs out there, but no, it's just an old Chinese spy balloon today. And casual Friday.
I know. And can you imagine just looking up and being like, what is that? Just,
No, I can't. Lots of weird. There's still so much we don't know. But this one, the source was a little closer to home.
Yes, this one definitely, because strong winds are blowing snow across the runway at Bangor International Airport in Maine, as a brutal blast of dangerously cold air is expected to sweep across the Northeast and New England today. Now, this is causing more than 15 million people under wind chill warnings or advisories. Officials are closing schools in some areas and activating emergency plans as the regions brace for record-breaking sub-zero temperatures. Frigid air that feels as cold as 32 degrees below zero will combine with these gusty winds. That wintry 1-2 punch could lead to frostbite in as little as 10 minutes in some areas. The cold spell will peak tonight into Saturday morning and should begin to subside by Sunday. And it looks like a scene from a Hollywood movie, but no special effects needed here. It's a burst water main that created a sinkhole big enough to swallow a fire engine. There were no injuries, but firemen did rescue a woman trapped in her home after the roof collapsed from being flooded with the downpour. That was in California there.
Ooh, that I would not be happy to see that outside.
I sure wouldn't either. I'd be like, what is that? Okay.
Yeah.
I probably would have thought it was a movie scene, to be honest.
California's crazy. I gotta
sure
say,
is.
like, we think our weather's crazy here.
They got earthquakes.
They got earthquakes, yeah. So I'm like, I'm good, thanks. No offense, California.
Yeah, I don't need the ground beneath me to start moving.
To all our
anytime soon.
California viewers, you know, we love you.
We love you guys. All right, well, temperatures are dropping in the upper Midwest and Northeast, but the worst of an Arctic cold front is yet to come. Fox Katie Byrne is out in the elements, and she tells us about the sub-zero wind chills out in the Northwest.
Unfathomable cold on top of New Hampshire's Mount Washington as a dangerous Arctic blast blows through. The wind chill expected to drop to nearly 110 degrees below zero at the highest peak in the northeastern U.S. The tower camera at the Mount Washington Observatory shaking violently from the gusts. The polar vortex first felt across the upper Midwest. Warming centers in Minnesota open for people to take shelter.
We just got to keep reminding ourselves that no matter if it's 30 degrees or 30 below, it's still cold.
In the Northeast, the temperature is going down throughout the day Friday. This weekend, wind chills expected to feel like -40 and -50 degrees for some parts of upstate New York and New England.
Your ears start freezing and your lips are just like numb. So
yeah, you continue to lick your lips because they keep drying up because it's cold out, and it just gets worse.
Mayor Michelle Wu of Boston declaring a cold emergency through Sunday. Boston Public Schools closed on Friday as the concern turns to hypothermia or frostbite while commuting.
It's tough, but I mean, they won't be out in the cold.
Many are worried power lines will fall victim to wind gusts, leaving residents without power during this historic cold and wind. That situation currently playing out in Texas after deadly ice storms knocked out power to thousands earlier this week, and crews are still working to get power back on.
The situation is unacceptable to the community, and it's unacceptable to me, and I'm sorry.
Forecasters expect temperatures to reach record lows here in Boston, but warmer temperatures are on the way by the end of the weekend. In Arlington, Massachusetts, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
And back here closer to home, an update on the landfill fire in St. Clair County. EPA crews are working to put it out. We're checking in with one homeowner who we spoke to when all of this started back in November. Candace Jackson's backyard is adjacent to the landfill. She says her son has suffered from nosebleeds and her family has dealt with other health issues. Thankfully, they were able to relocate, but she's concerned about what's next. WBRC's Bria Chapman tells us more.
So everybody in our area is going through a very trying time right now.
Candace Jackson says leaving her home was one of the hardest decisions her family had to make.
Built our dream home and have to leave it and not have access to our property and our belongings. And then to go through the rental process. We haven't rented a home since we were in our early 20s when we rented an apartment. Everything else we've owned. Our last house before we built, we lived there for 13 years. We don't move often.
Jackson says it's been difficult to find spaces to accommodate families and their pets, and they're not sure how long they all will have to stay.
It was very difficult to find a company that would do a short-term rental. We did have to sign a 6-month lease. We're hoping that we don't have to be here this long, but we don't know. We have a lot of people in the area that have had to relocate. There are other people in the area that would like to relocate but have not been approved to do so or don't have the means to do so.
And Jackson says she is grateful the EPA is working to get the fire under control, but she wants to see more done at the state and local level to make sure something like this does not happen again.
To monitor it and to make sure things are not coming in that should not be coming in, and that everything is communicated between the officials, you know, the city, the county, the state, whatever authority that there is.
Although the EPA says they expect to have the fire fully covered in the next few weeks, Jackson says they are not sure when they'll be able to return to their house. And when they do, she says they plan to work with their insurance company to try to see how their home and cars were impacted by the smoke. Meanwhile, the USDA Forest Service is planning prescribed berms for some counties in our area. More than 100,000 acres will be burned at Bankhead, Conecuh, Talladega, and Tuskegee National Forest over the next 6 months. Officials warn drivers to proceed with caution if they encounter smoke during the burns and drive with lights on the low beams. Lots going on in our area and in weather around the world, but we check in next with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for a look at that Super Day 7. It's Friday. It's almost time to leave. Super 7-day forecast, and then we'll take you beyond the 7-day First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.
Are you noticing mold or discoloration in your shower? Or maybe you just want to replace that old bathtub with something more modern and luxurious? Well, either way, we've got you covered. Hey everybody, I'm joined by BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, to talk a little shower and bath remodeling and how West Shore is making the entire process from start to finish fast and easy. BJ.
Thanks, Joe. At West Shore Home, we understand the headaches and stress a remodeling project can cause. That's why everything that we do is designed to make it stress-free for our customers.
A lot of people don't think of remodeling as stress-free, especially bath remodeling. So how are you making a complicated process easier?
Everything in our process can be done from the comfort of your own home. Give us a call and we'll send one of our bath experts out that has a time that's most convenient for you. And when it comes time for that installation, we're going to send one of our employee installers out and complete that project in as little as 1 day.
So no running out to big box stores and comparing samples and colors and then maybe waiting months for the installation. You're saying this is an all-inclusive process, making it really fast and easy for customers. That's great. Now, BJ, I understand you have a flash sale going on right now. Tell us about that.
That's right, Joe. Right now, anyone that gives us a call, we're going to do free installation on all shower and bath remodeling projects. On top of that, we're going to be doing 12 months, no interest, no payment financing. That means you can get that bath project done right now and you don't have to make any payments or pay any interest until 2024.
Free installation, that's a great offer. Well, let's see some projects you've done recently.
Absolutely, let's take a look. Here, we were able to completely remove an outdated shower and bath and install something that matched the rest of their bathroom. That low step feature is going to make getting in and out of that shower really easy. And the sleek matte black hardware looks amazing. Here's a few more. All of these were installed in one day, and just a reminder, for a limited time, anyone that calls will get free installation on their shower and bath project.
BJ, thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now for this limited time offer. It's free installation on all shower and bath projects. Plus, for limited time, BJ is doing 12 months of no payments and no interest financing. Get your shower project now and don't worry about making a single payment until 2024. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Certainly nice to see a little bit of sunshine for our Friday. And this weekend we got some more nice weather on the way. Tomorrow we start out 28 degrees tomorrow morning. So it'll be cold there early in the day. But the rest of our Saturday we will warm up into the 50s. So not too bad there. Want to get a walk in tomorrow. Maybe a few clouds, but I do expect some sunshine. This is showing winds at east and then south. The wind will change direction, but I think starting out we are going to have more of a north breeze, and then that will change around. That's just some of the model data there, but we will be talking about that wind shifting. Looking at Saturday night and Sunday, a low around 38 degrees. Temperatures to the north and northeast, Gadsden Center, places like Anniston especially, we could get close to freezing. So a first alert there for temperatures in some of those eastern and northern areas dropping close to freezing, maybe a little bit of patchy frost as well. Another cold start, but we're getting somewhere. 62 there on Sunday. Notice the normal high is 56 degrees, so we're going above average with these temperatures into next week. And then we have the rain coming back, you can see around Wednesday. And by the way, you can tell these days, look at sunset time, 5:20, getting longer. Daylight saving time actually begins in 37 days, March the 12th. So we're counting it down the days here as we get a little bit closer to the start of meteorological spring at least. Let's talk about next week, the next chance of rain. Monday and Tuesday will be dry days. You have a big project going on. I know it was a challenge there to try to find some dry days, especially at the work site on Monday and Tuesday. I expect dry weather, still chilly in the mornings, but we will warm up nicely during the day. 67. Monday's going to be a great day to get a run in, get a walk in later in the day. Same on Tuesday. Tuesday night and Wednesday, that's when the rain comes back. Based on what we see right now, I want you to check in with Fred and Tania over the weekend just in case that changes, but we are forecasting a pretty good chance for some wet weather. You can see the next big thing here. Here's the chance for rain. I'll work you through some of the model guidance. This is from the European model, which has actually had a pretty good handle. It's been rather consistent, at least, on when we could see some of this rain. But there's Wednesday, 8 a.m., 11:30. So this looks like a daytime impact here, and then it moves on out late at night. So we did put a 40% chance of rain in Thursday in case some of this is still with us past midnight. We'll continue to fine-tune the timing. At this point, I was looking at some of those severe weather indices. Looks like at this point no organized risk for severe weather at this time. That could change in a pattern like this. We gather new data. Don't be surprised if we do bring in an increased chance of storms with this, especially with temperatures swinging in the unseasonably warm range for next week. So watch Wednesday. Let's keep an eye on that just in case we need to include risk for a few strong storms. But right now it looks like mostly rain out of that. And notice the rain backs off by Friday, so there will be some in-between periods and there will be some sunshine in between the next couple of chances of rain we see. There's another system that moves in Friday night and the next Saturday, or at least some indications there. That's why we have put in a chance for some showers Friday into next weekend. So giving you the first alert there for when we could see a few showers there towards the end of next week. But again, the next best chance of rain we see Wednesday. At least we don't have an all-week washout like what just happened here this past week. Weather watcher Anthony McDonald over in Vernon actually reported close to 3 1/4 inch of rain, so over 3 inches, and that's on the high end. So for a lot of us, that's some of the totals for the entire event throughout the week, over 3 inches in some areas. But a lot of rainfall out there. Thankfully, we have a few days to dry out. But how about this active pattern and what happens beyond the 7-day forecast? Well, we'll bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan, take a look at some of that long-range data. And Lauren, looks like now here we go with some warmer weather coming next week.
Yeah, Wes, we are setting ourselves up for a very warm pattern next week. And of course, the question on everyone's minds is, well, is it going to be warm and dry and really nice? Well, you know, we couldn't have our cake and eat it too. We're likely going to be seeing not just warmer temperatures, but that active pattern ramping right back up again. So 6 to 10 days from now, it does look like a good portion of the U.S., especially the eastern third of the U.S., will be seeing above average rainfall again. And yes, this does carry us getting a little closer to just beyond the 7-day late next week. So we do expect that wet pattern to continue. I'm not saying every day is going to be a deluge, but we can expect, if not some stormy weather, some wet weather in the forecast. So here we are, Saturday, the 11th. So this is next Saturday, showing the potential for some cooler air moving in. So we've been talking about that warmer air in place, but it does look like next Saturday for Super Bowl weekend, we could see a brief cool down. Generally, though, above average temperatures, but at least for Super Bowl weekend, looking cold. For Sunday, though, for your Super Bowl watch parties, should be dry, just really chilly. So you want to bundle up and have that sweater. Good excuse to put some chili in the crock pot for game time. Here we are, Monday, the 13th. This is right before Valentine's Day. Noticing the potential for a system developing off to our west. Now, this particular model, which of course is Canon, will change, is showing, hey, we may get some rain in by Valentine's night. Right now, it looks like it'd be dry for any of your dinner plans, but potentially coming in Tuesday overnight into early Wednesday morning. Of course, when we see these systems, we're going to keep an eye out for anything in the way of a severe weather threat. Right now, I haven't seen anything in the data that suggests that, but maybe just good old-fashioned rainmaker. We've had plenty of those. Next Tuesday, or the following Tuesday, Valentine's Day, into the 15th, that Wednesday. And then looks like the pattern would just be supporting some more disturbances moving through that could be bringing in some cloud cover, but not necessarily any rain through the end of that week. Now, as far as temperatures, even though we'd see that little cool down past Super Bowl Sunday, it still looks like in the immediate future, 6 to 10 days from now, beyond the 7-day, above average temperatures across the eastern U.S. So as we look at those potential highs, here we are towards the end of next week, next Thursday through Saturday, seeing temperatures into maybe, if not the upper 60s, the 70s in some spots. We've still got to fine tune that, but then you see that cool down with highs in the 40s Super Bowl weekend into February 13th, and then looking a little bit more seasonable with temperatures kind of hit or miss through the end of that week. And here are the low temperatures with clouds and a wet pattern around, lows potentially only in the 50s. So very mild next Thursday through Saturday, and then that cool down giving us the potential for a freeze on Super Bowl Sunday into Valentine's Day. And it does look like we could see cooler than average temperatures going into that week. So though next week into next weekend is favoring some warmer air, it looks like by Super Bowl Sunday, maybe that's when we could flip the switch back to a cooler pattern. But we'll be keeping you updated as always here on Weather Extra. Coming up next, I'll take a final look at your 7-day forecast. And you'll know it's Friday. We got some cute animal video for you. Tune in. We'll be right back.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your first alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
Having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone.
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
That means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy. Starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are. And getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Before we look at the Super 7-day forecast, we got to take a moment and wish someone a happy birthday. It's also my birthday this week, but little did I know, I also shared a birthday with the world's oldest dog ever. As of today, Bobby is 30 years old and 260 days old. He has lived his entire life with a family in a rural village in Portugal. Dogs like Bobby usually live about 12 to 14 years, but this purebred livestock guardian dog has beaten all the odds. In fact, when he was born, the family decided to get rid of the litter of 4 pups because they already had too many dogs. But Bobby mistakenly got left behind. Oh my God, I mean, I would, if Bobby got left behind, I'm like, well, come on, stay here, buddy. So Bobby is 30, flirty, and thriving. I hope we all look half as good as Bobby with that luscious fur coat as we get into our old age, the ripe old age of 30 years old. So for tonight, whether you're going to be going out on the town like Bobby to celebrate your birthday or maybe hanging close to home since it's a little chilly, we're still going to see temperatures falling down into the widespread 20s tomorrow morning. So definitely the potential for a little frost early on. And then for your Saturday, highs in the mid 50s, so a little bit warmer. Each day we're getting a little bit warmer. That warming trend really kicks in on Sunday with highs back in the 60s. Now you'll notice some clouds around over the weekend. It's not going to be cloudy and overcast and gloomy. There will be some more clouds later in the day on Saturday, sticking around through Sunday morning, but there's still going to be some sunshine in the mix and plentiful sunshine on Monday. Honestly, it's hard to believe, but Monday kind of looks like the best day in the 7-day forecast. Just a shame it's Monday. If only it were a 3-day weekend. But yeah, Monday, upper 60s, lots of sunshine, starting off the morning cold, but hey, that's a good day to wear layers. And then we look at that potential for not just warmer weather in the forecast, but a more unsettled pattern. We have a couple of systems coming through that should be bringing us some rain by Wednesday. That's right now where it looks like the most widespread rain, and then also another system potentially coming in late Friday night. But make sure you check back in with Fred and Tania this weekend as they look over that latest data and fine-tune the forecast. And of course, Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt will be back tonight on First at 9, and you can catch us here on Weather Extra every Monday through Friday at 6:30 after WBRC Fox 6 News. On your streaming devices, we're with the Modern Times. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Friday evening.